So Geoff Knight, we've been highlighting lately different types of ownership and people's stories around it, and you've got a really interesting concept in your new ownership of Armstrong. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
That's right, Jess. Well, as you know, we're big on syndication, and there's all different types and all different products to fit different people. But this particular one was a bit unique. I got offered a horse called Mr. Woodley to lease. He was ready to race, and in fact, we leased him on a Tuesday, and he raced on the Thursday. So it was pretty quick going. So I saw a few mates and said, look, we get 8 or 10 of us in the horse, we'll just chuck in a few bucks and see how we go. It transpired that we got 16 people into the horse without any trouble at all. So I said at that point we'd put in $200 each, and when that money ran out, we wouldn't be asking for any more. And the reason being that I thought that would get us through the basis of 2 months training fees. He was a horse ready to race, and if the money ran out and he wasn't earning, then the horse could go back, and we'd only spend $200 each on the horse. Wow. So
Geoff, do you think the reason why the horse filled so quickly was the fact that it was such a straightforward and low risk concept?
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, most of the guys are in another syndicate, well, about half of them that race another horse with us, and they didn't want to go home to their wives and partners and say, look, I've got another racehorse. And I said, well, if you go home to them and tell you're going to spend $200 and that's it, they probably won't believe you. But once you convince them that that's going to be it, then they were all on board, and wives and partners were all happy.
So the horse, Mr. Woodley, went on to be sold, I understand.
Yeah, we're a bit lucky because we had a right of purchase on the horse, and Tom Tyler was very realistic in that price, and so we raced him probably about 7 or 8 times. Never quite won one. We ran a very good second one day in Invercargill, and we had some thirds and fourths, so he self-funded himself anyway, and when we sold him, the leftover money was enough for us to go and purchase another untried horse or just recently qualified horse from Gore, and still left us money in the bank. And the guy said to me, well, do we have to put in any more? And I said, well, no, it's the same story really. We've got enough in there for a couple of months training fees. He's ready to race, and once that money runs out, if he's not self-funding, then or partly self-funding at least, he wouldn't be the horse to go on with, but it looks like he's going to be.
Okay, so the horse that you ended up purchasing is Armstrong. He's had a couple of starts so far, but what are you hoping from him?
Well, he was a very green horse when we got him, and Kath O'Connor and Gore, we bought her off Kath, and she just trains them on their own. So, and to her credit, she said, look, he'd be better off in a bigger stable where he can learn a bit more. And we've given him 2 starts, and the first time he got a little bit keen in Oamaru, and we changed a bit of gear on him. He raced at Wakawati on the first day, ran a very nice 6th, and didn't really handle the grass. So at this stage of his career, we're very happy with him. He won a workout for us just prior to those grass racing, which showed, and he actually beat 2 win horses, so he showed he's got some ability. So we're moving on towards race at Fulbury Park next Thursday.
Geoff, obviously this is a setup that not many people would have tried before. I know there has been people do it on a limited basis, but why would you recommend to other people to maybe think outside the square and maybe look at set fees per month or one-off payments?
I think if, barring accidents and, horse going sore and needing a vet, you can basically work out what the horse is going to need. And as long as the people syndicating, and I've been big on this for years, Jess, that there's no one's clipping the ticket on the way through. So as a trainer, you're getting your training fees, and as a driver, you're getting your driving fees, and as an owner, you're paying your dues. But, I think some of the biggest mistakes I've seen is people trying to clip the ticket on the way through, and it just can get out of hand, and then most times it ends not nicely.
Right, so you're recommending maybe getting people in on a smaller level. Have you seen people take the step up from there on in?
Oh, without doubt, and we had some new owners come to us a couple of years ago. The Kirkpatrick's family from Roxburgh owned the famous Jimmy's Pies, and they were keen to get into a horse. I leased one for them at a low level, and so we got it at a very low level with them. They won a race, they had a few placings, they got hooked, and then they set me out to buy them one, and she just won a race at Wakawai on the first day and ran second on the second day. So so they're very, very happy, and so I think it's very, very important important that we look after them at the lower level before we ask them to front up with a lot of money, because if they get burnt once putting in big dollars, they're liable just to get the stitch with the industry and leave us.
Well, it's a remarkable concept, Geoff, and I applaud you and the work you're doing with it. Good luck with Armstrong going forward, and hopefully other people might be able to follow your lead.
Yeah, well, the more horses we can get to the races, Jess, the better it is for the industry. And in this day and age, it's got to be all about the industry. And let's leave our own egos and things behind and do things for the industry, because without it, we haven't got one.